Start this one from pole position. We drift back Clark Quinn alongside Tony Quinn. In this one as well, Craig Baird, who'll also be lining up today for the Bob Jane T-Marts 1000. Stephen Bourness, Peter Hill, as we know, has got dramas, and his sideline there, he'll be a spectator up at Griffin's Bend. Dean Grant and Paul Freestone, 13 and 14. We drift back through this big field. David Thexton, Bryce Washington making his championship debut, stepping up from Formula 4. Jimmy Richards from the rear of the grid along with James Kondouris. But first, let's get a quick pit update. Here's Paul Gover.
Thanks, Rusty. Jim Richards is the only car that was able to be repaired yesterday. It didn't come back from the TAFE pedal beaters until 2 a.m. and the guys have had no sleep at all. Kondouris has actually switched into his spare car because he owns two.
There you go. Watch Jimmy Richards. He's a pretty good starter in this championship. And Garth Tander is with us in the commentary box. You're pretty pumped at the moment, not only about this race and this championship, but also your car. It's going particularly well. You were mentioning to Darryl there before.
Yeah, the car was very, very good this morning. Probably the best it's been all weekend, which is quite handy leading into the race this morning. So very, very happy. But looking forward to this one because Fabian and Alex were going at it pretty hard yesterday. And with Richo coming off the back of the grid, going to be a very exciting race.
Yeah, you're right. It was a demon battle yesterday between Davison and Fabian Coulthard. Both those drivers, along with Jim Richards and Craig Baird, will be in the Bob Jane T-Marts 1000 today. Craig with Team Kiwi. Of course, Jimmy lining up with his son Stephen, who snared pole position for the great race yesterday. And as far as Fabian Coulthard is concerned, he'll line up at Tasman Motorsport alongside Jason Richards. And Alex Davison, another part of the Castrol Perkins squad, with Jamie Whincup in the VX Commodore. Flycam shows you the view from pit straight and will keep you up to speed in pit lane on what is our biggest Bathurst broadcast ever. And this is one of the many great support races. We're set for a start here. Good start by Coulthard, a little bit sideways from Alex Davison. Pretty much a drag race between the two of them as they head to Hell Corner for the first time. And Davison is forced to give as Coulthard muscles his way through, up on the ripple strips for Alex Davison. Where's Jim Richards in the fray? He's playing it safe, trying to work his way through up Mountain Straight.
Well, the best thing about that start was everyone got away from the line and we're all clean heading up Mountain Straight. Richo's picked off a couple and I would expect that he'll have a couple more going into Griffiths Bend.
The critical thing here is being fast on cold tyres. All of them running on a control Michelin tyre. And this year's spec, if you like, has offered a bit more grip than last year's. But the guys that tend to get the better jump are those that go hard early.
Well, noticing yesterday that both Fabian Coulthard and Alex Davis had both their fastest lap on the last lap of the race. They got faster and faster every lap. And this morning's race, the track temperature will be a lot cooler, so I would expect the same thing to happen. I would actually expect that the guys would be a little bit faster. And Alex set a lap record yesterday on the last lap at a 13.5, which is pretty handy lap time. And I would have thought they'll go a little bit faster this morning.
Staggering pace when you consider that they're a six-cylinder Porsche. They don't have the horsepower that a V8 supercar has. A lot of great control mechanisms in this category. The best one-make series in the world, no doubt about it. Davison, the man currently running in second place, wants this championship. He returned to Australia for the Eastern Creek round. Look at the way that car is bouncing around as it exits the top of the mountain, and they head now for Forest's Elbow for the first time.
Been very impressed with Jonathan Webb this weekend. He's running with both Fabian Coulthard and Alex Davison here, both the class of the field along with Jimmy Richards this year, and to come to Bathurst and run with a quick pace like these guys and going with them on the first lap on cold tyres. He's done a very good job this weekend, and if he can stay with the top two, he might surprise them later in the race. Yeah,
stellar performance by Jonathan Webb, and he's been spending a lot of time testing. Look at the way Davison's car bounces around. A very nervous entry to Caltech's chase, but he recovers. Typically yesterday he was running very wide on the run down into the chase, carrying that little bit of extra speed.
These cars are very stiffly sprung. We've mentioned it many times before in the Carrera Cup telecasts, and it's actually a little bit bumpier going down into the chase this year, and these cars are bouncing around probably a little more than they were this time last year, and Alex is going pretty deep into there, and the car literally is just bouncing off the road and running wide. Pretty hairy at 280 odd kilometres an hour.
Particularly awesome sight, and they sound fantastic. That distinctive Boxer six-cylinder engine that is uniquely Porsche. Look at the VIP Pet Foods entries here. Craig Baird in the mix, and Clark Quinn, and the man who owns the squad, Tony Quinn, as well. At the moment, it's Clark who has the edge on Craig Baird as they head into Griffins. Craig's in car 2, 28 is Clark. So that's a good battle going on there when you consider that Craig's, I guess, been the mentor as far as Clark Wynn's concerned for the year. He's been giving them a big hand. James Cressy was a part of the team, the young Kiwi, up until about Sandown, and Craig stepped in to replace him now, and he's been working very closely with Clark all year to bring him up to speed with these machines. Yeah,
good job by Clark to be in front of Craig at this stage, because Beardo's obviously done a lot of laps around here at Mount Panorama, and also when Craig jumped in the car at Sandown, was immediately on the pace with Jim Richards, Alex Davison and Fabian Coulthard. So to be in front of the teammate up at Mount Panorama in front of the big crowd is a fantastic effort.
Matthew Coleman in the mix in car 62. He's in position 8 at the moment, just ahead of Stephen Borness. And Matty's chasing Kevin Bell in one of the 2 Bob Jane T-Mart's entries. Matty, of course, has endured a bit of a difficult time of late. His father, Alan, passed away. He was just 60 years of age. Been suffering with cancer for some time. A good mate of the Jane family and the Jones family for that matter, and this race meeting very much dedicated in his memory. As they head down Conrod Straight once again. Bell on the last lap was a 2-minute 22.18, but you've got to contrast that with Fabian Coulthard, who locked in a 2-minute 16.18, so they're not quite down to the fast break. Oh, look how wide Stephen Borness ran then, right out on the white line on the entry to Caltex Chase.
Taking the Alex Davison approach to the Caltex Chase there. Davo up the inside.
Speaking of Davison, well, he wants to go out and win this championship with a victory. He scored his first ever Bathurst race win on Friday in the opening race of 3 here in the Carrera Cup. And that's a good move. He's had enormous amounts of experience in these cars. Left Australian shores after running in Formula Ford to run with a German team in the Carrera Cup. He's also contested a couple of Super Cup events which run alongside Formula One, and plenty of miles in Carrera Cup. Larry Perkins has seen this bloke and snaffled him up pretty quickly, hasn't he?
He has, and Alex has been the class of the Carrera Cup this year. There hasn't been a doubt about that. But Fabian's really come on strong in the second half of this year. He was definitely the fastest guy at Sandown, but just had a few dramas, and has been very, very pacey here this weekend also. We just noticed on the lap times that last time through.
Okay, here we go. This is the replay on the run down into Murray's Corner, and Davison plays the intimidator, bit of weaving left and right, and he carries that extra speed in. Gotcha.
It was actually a relatively simple move, so whether Fabian just wants to sit behind and see whether Alex is stronger in any part of the track, or Fabian feels he's stronger in any part of the track, but looked a little bit easy for Alex to slide through there, but he is pulling a gap across the top. Just getting back the last lap through, Davison with a 14.0 already on the second lap, so going to be very interesting as the race goes on to see what the lap times are going to be like.
So Davison swings down now. Forrest's elbow and onto Conrod Straight once again. Fabian Coulthard in the tow. Coulthard's, as Garth has mentioned, has done a terrific job. Made his first, I guess, debut in, or had his debut in V8 supercar terms at Oran Park with the Tasman Motorsport operation, which has obviously close links with the Carrera team here. And he drove the older model VX Commodore there. Did a good job, finished in 19th place, and has been doing some testing with that team since, and obviously confirmed for the endurance races and running alongside Jason Richards in their VY Commodore. We'll take a break on our coverage of this round of the Carrera Cup. Will a champion be crowned? And we're gearing up for the Bob J. T-Mart's 1000 as well. Stick with us, more right after the break.